Hey, you're going to want to stick around for this episode of 90s Now because we're going to find out what 90s product Adam has had in his fridge for 2 years.
And it still tasted good. I swear.
And then Sharon's going to feel a little bit silly for not knowing a trivia answer that I gave to her where it was just actually under her nose. So make
shame.
Thing and stay tuned to 90s Now.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to 90s Now. I'm Sharon. That's Kelly.
Hello.
And that's Adam, you guys.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, you guys. We are getting straight into it. Do you know why? Because it's that damn good. We've got news of another tour that's been put on hold. Another tour that's been put on hold. I'm not trying to point the age finger, but it is, they are old. Also,
Old and sick.
Old and sick. That could be the name of our reunion show many years down the line. Kelly's Trivia is going to test your skills with a Z, like you've never been tested. Also, your 90s Rewind is going to take us back to the beginning of our favorite decade. However, there's been some major news out of Las Vegas in the murder of Tupac Shakur. So let's start there.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty incredible this many years later that A, they're still working on it, and B, they've arrested someone.
I was so shocked, because this came out of left field completely. And I don't know if the articles that we read, it even sounded like his own family wasn't up to date, that they were just, I think, and which was probably better, the cops were just doing what they needed to do, investigators. And then, because that's the last thing too, especially this far in, you wouldn't want to tell them something and then it not pan out.
Yeah, it's like false hope, right? And then you're brought back to exactly when it all happened and all those emotions and all the sadness and then for the chance that it might not, come to be anything solid.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's I can only imagine. And I think too, for anybody who's gone through something like this, it's really not closure. I don't believe that there's that, but I guess it does bring some sort of sense of justice. Maybe. I don't know. I don't even know if that's the right word to use, but at least it's a something, and as opposed to a nothing that's been going on for 30 years or almost 30 years.
It happened 30 years or 25 years ago that it happened.
96.
27.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
1996, right? Because
so I was 3 years old, and I have to be completely honest. I had no idea. We didn't know, who did the thing.
Yep.
It was news for me when I saw the news this morning.
I think a lot of the not social media because it wasn't a thing back then, but a lot of what was circulating was sort of a lot of emphasis on the divide of, East Coast, West Coast, which, as we've learned over the years, wasn't necessarily even a thing until they started using that to be a thing. And now, of course, we know that, if someone's actually responsible for it, that it had, little to do with geography.
Yeah. And it sounds like it was a revenge thing for a beatdown, right? Is what it sounds like. So, yeah, no, and it just felt like a lot of that East Coast, West Coast thing was fabricated, and then it became something because it was hyped. And so then it became a something, but it's like the worst possible branding idea worked. You know what I mean?
And you know why? And not to give too much credit to social media, but had there been social media then, it wouldn't have been a thing. I mean, we can cut straight to the truth with social media. You can see it quicker than ever before, but without it, you have the lag time of having to wait for publications to print or television shows to produce a product for us to see. So that takes time. So you can plant seeds and know that that it'll take time for the truth to actually be given any light.
Well, it's even similar to, celebrity beefs in a way that get out or that have happened in the past.
Yeah.
Because I forget who it was. I don't know if it was Christina Aguilera talking about it, but it was something where it was two beefs between female artists, and it all started because it was the camps talking or and even fandoms got going, and then that created buzz, and then that became real, where it's is she really talking about me? Is she talking and then that's how certain beefs got going. So I think, like you said, now with social media, people can. It's good and bad, but I think some celebrities can stop it, nip it right in the bud, because they can say they can go right to the person, be like, is
exactly,
so.
And didn't I think it was Pink and Christina.
Yeah.
And I think both said we've dealt with it. It's in the past.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
For
and that's the thing too. I think it actually goes back decades, like similar to what we're saying in that you waited for things to be printed and make, you know, the magazines and newspapers and things like that. Go like back to the 50s and even earlier when like the Hollywood Report would come out and you'd read all the gossip and stuff like that. It sold more papers
Mhm.
if there was, you know, something salacious or, ooh, really? They don't like each other? Wow. And
Mhm.
maybe they actually didn't like each other, or maybe there was nothing, but they had to sell papers and drama always works. I mean, we know that from seeing the way social media actually works. I'm giving it some credit for actually being able to cut through, but
Mhm.
we know actually at the heart of it, there's still humans that are fragile and insecure and all that baloney that still kind of wrecks stuff.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
can't always have nice things, Sharon.
We can't, and we've proven it time and time again. What I thought was interesting for the person that was arrested was police saying that the best way to characterize this man was as the shot caller for this group of individuals that committed this crime, and he orchestrated the plan that was carried out to make this happen.
Mm.
The shot caller.
Yeah.
An emphasis on the shot in a sad reality, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then
So,
like, you know, and I don't know, you know, because I haven't, especially with this recent news, I don't think anybody knows what effect, but then like we lost Biggie the year after, right?
months
And it's
later.
like how much of a fallout from this then contributed to Biggie getting eliminated, you know, taken out.
It's true. And you think of like, oh, okay, well, if they got away with it, then, you know, another group of who knows, uh, whatever says sort of thinks the same thing. Well, hey, well, they did it and they didn't get caught. So and that's, I think, human nature too. Like in the off people with that are slightly off that think that way,
Mhm.
that they see stuff on television or however it's playing out and they go, hey, I could do that. That's what's so dangerous about reporting on, you know, mass shootings and
Yep.
you don't want to give them too much attention because it really does fuel the fire of somebody else who isn't thinking 100% clearly.
Yeah, because I think, you know, how many times have we heard mass shootings where it's like they were influenced by, you know,
Yeah.
Columbine or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
and then they want to be infamous. They want to become that, right? So
Yep.
no, it's sad. And like I was reading too, I don't know if you guys saw in the article, but there was like a list of accolades of Tupac and like it's like I knew like many of them, but it was like a refresher. And it's
Yeah.
just like he did all that and he was only 25.
Yeah.
And so what else would he have accomplished? And same thing for Biggie. Like it's just, you know, and even if we take it to today, like it's so sad that Takeoff is not here from the group Migos. You know,
Hmm.
who got it'll be a year on the 1st of November, I believe it is, you know, and again, all for just ridiculous violence that didn't need to happen. And now these careers and lives are cut short, you know, who all have like they're either sons or brothers or fathers or
Hmm.
you know, and it's just very, very sad. I've missed like Pac ever since. Like I was a fan of his and you know, just like so many other people. And it's just like, what would he else have accomplished if he did that at 25, you know?
Interesting too to think that um 27 years ago, obviously obtaining a firearm was easy.
Mm-hmm.
And over the course of this many years, it seems to have gotten easier,
Mm-hmm.
if not become a real good idea for some people. Like the numbers have kind of snowballed, which is a
Yeah.
sad reality too.
Mm-hmm.
Did we start this show on a heavy note or what?
We
Where's that dark
did.
cloud?
We're going to move the dark cloud out of the way and keep you posted, truly, though, honestly and seriously,
Mhm.
as we get more information about this case. And may Tupac rest in peace. We'll keep you posted as we get it.
Mhm.
So, you guys, let's lighten the load with some trivia.
Nice segue, Sharon.
Thank you.
90s now. Trivia.
Bing bong.
Ding dong.
Spoiler alert, who says it's going to be lightened a load?
Oh, brother.
Just for that, I feel like I should start with the challenging question. So
Oh,
we
please do. How do you differentiate between the two, Cal?
shall.
Yeah, you don't know what we know.
Yeah,
Exactly. I don't.
yeah.
So this is from the art and literature category.
Literature.
Workers' Song, Equality, and Our Grandmothers are poems from which 1990 collection by Maya Angelou?
Say it again, please.
Workers' Song, Equality, and Our Grandmothers are poems from which 1990 collection by Maya Angelou?
I feel
I
like
feel
we
shame.
should know this one.
I feel shame because I'm pretty sure I have this book upstairs.
I feel like you'll know this when I say it, Adam. So you don't no guess for you, little Adam?
I can't come up with anything, but I feel like I should know this.
You will know this. Okay, I'm
The
blanking.
answer is, ready?
Oh
Yeah.
no.
I Shall Not Be Moved.
It's upstairs. I
Yeah.
have it. Yeah. Sorry, Maya Angelou. I failed you.
Yeah.
Did.
She's so easy to read.
Mm.
It's so wonderfully complicated, and while complex, it's not challenging. Meaning, it's not her ideas are not hard to grasp. And what makes them complex is that people seem to forget the basic stuff a lot of the time. So, yes, I would highly advise the reading of that book of poetry.
Here's a full circle moment, and we're not even at the end of the show yet. So
Yeah.
I came to know Maya because of her involvement in Poetic Justice,
Really?
movie with Tupac and Janet,
Oh, nice.
because she did work for John Singleton. Like she wrote, I don't know if she wrote explicitly for the film or he used her stuff, but because Janet's character, Justice, in the film, writes poetry.
Right.
And so that's integrated throughout the film. And
she's
so
just seeking justice.
she is seeking
right?
justice, poetic
No,
justice.
wait a minute. She is justice.
She is justice. And that's where I came upon Phenomenal Woman, that poem.
Yeah.
That's such a great poem.
All of her books, honestly, the books of that go in sequence that start with I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings is they're all amazing. And they all take you somewhere that you're like, I didn't realize that I needed to be here, could be here. And just the style with which she writes it's amazing. It's they're pieces of like history too. She's woven through the lives of many people. It's amazing.
And Adam,
it's
can you do some research for me, because I'm pretty sure Tyler Perry put Maya in some of his films, I feel like.
Where he wasn't the character.
And she might have also been in, she might have even been in Poetic Justice. I think he had like a cameo for her where she played like an auntie or something, like in one of the scenes. I feel like, yeah, she might have been in there was like a picnic scene with a family barbecue.
That makes sense.
Well, she's playing in Medea's Family Reunion.
Yeah, so that's Tyler Perry. Yeah.
Is she playing in another of his movie?
I think, can you also type her name and Poetic Justice? Because I'm fairly certain now that he had her in a scene. Yeah, fairly certain. All right, so I'll let you guys choose. Should it be sport or pop culture for the following question? I'll let you guys decide.
Oh, two good categories.
I'm gonna pick. What do you think about pop culture, Adam?
Let's do it.
Okay.
See what happens.
And sorry, Maya was in Poetic Justice, according to the internet.
Perfect. That's what I thought. Question number 2. Which Pepsi company product had the slogan, quote, "You've never seen a taste like this?" Question mark.
Sharon.
Yeah.
Pepsi Clear.
I'll let Adam. Adam, do you have a guess?
Okay, I'm gonna guess something. I'll go for the blue Pepsi.
Is that still a thing, by the way? Blue Pepsi?
They reissued it like a year or 2 years ago. I had like 2 bottles in my fridge for like a whole year.
Wow.
I was waiting
Did they stay blue?
They did stay blue, and I actually used them for a Halloween party where we all made drinks and we all were assigned a color, and we had to do like a drink based on that color.
Oh, that's cool.
So I made a blue rum and Coke. Well, rum and Pepsi.
Did it taste good?
It tasted pretty much exactly as Pepsi would.
Okay, that's good to know.
So I guess that's not the answer, though.
It is not the answer, and I'll let Adam see if he's good to give this to Sharon. It's Crystal Pepsi.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember Crystal Pepsi.
I'll give it to you.
It was clear in color, right? Like it was.
I guess so. So I guess that's why they called it Crystal Pepsi.
Well, didn't you do that again like last year or something?
I don't know, but maybe we should ask Crystal Waters if she's ever tried Crystal Pepsi.
Yeah,
I
Hey,
feel like I
Crystal,
know what she's gonna answer.
how do you feel about a possible, you know, collab with Pepsi as a throwback to Crystal, Pepsi Crystal?
Nope.
Fair enough. Thank you
Yeah.
for giving it some thought.
We tried.
We tried. We're trying all the time with her. She's difficult.
Yeah.
But I get it at the same time.
Yep.
Okay, so trivia check. How about this? We talked about the old rockers that have put the pin in the tour plans. And it's actually, I mean, you got to give it to them. It's not the Rolling Stones, because I'm pretty pumped on the Rolling Stones and the fact that they're making as great music as they are, and they're 80. Not because they're 80. Like, it's not like, hey, they're 80 and they're still doing it. It's consistent, and I think it's the key to staying young and staying vibrant, is that just keep doing what you do. Don't let age be the thing that defines you.
Did they announce a tour, the Stones, for their new album or not yet?
I don't think they have.
Okay.
I just
I feel
read
like
a
I don't
really
remember seeing the news either. So all right.
no, not that I know of. What was really worth investigating though is Lady Gaga's post from last week about her experience of being in the studio doing her own thing, and then someone coming down and said, Mick wants to see you, and she's like, okay, and that she went into studio. And just, if you could read that post, it's so like genuine. You really feel like it was just, like-minded artists in a room together, but she's in a room with the Stones and with Stevie Wonder and like this long list of big names, and basically Mick saying, do what you do. And they just make a recording. And anyway, so read it, worth it, because it just, I think, also shows her humility. Back to, though, the band that's put a pin in it for now. And it's not Bruce Springsteen, because he has the peptic ulcer situation that sidelined him, but it's Aerosmith that have put a pin in what they've got going on, because Steven Tyler's vocal cord situation is actually worse than what the doctors thought. So kind of interesting.
Sharon, just quickly while you're talking about Aerosmith, what was the
Yes.
name of the collab with Lady Gaga? It was like a song for heaven or something. What is
Yeah,
it?
something about heaven. I don't remember exactly.
Okay. Yeah, and like you said, the post was absolutely stunning. So people should.
Oh yeah, and Stevie Wonder's on the song too. So
It's bananas. Yeah.
yeah, it's the whole album's, from what I've heard, very good.
It's called Sweet Sounds of Heaven.
There we
There
go.
we go. Thank you.
I love that we were able to do the full circle 90s now with that.
Yes,
story.
exactly that.
And
So
I wonder if I wonder if the universe is trying to tell Steven Tyler not to retire, because like I feel like
not to retire or to retire? Oh,
not to retire, because
right.
like it's like don't say this is your final tour, because I feel like he shouldn't be saying that, or they shouldn't be saying it. But like, because they're what, 75, 70, like 78?
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah.
They're there.
Part of me can't seem like I just wish, like you said, they hadn't, like any of these bands would not say this is the stop tour. Like this is the,
Because sometimes it's obvious. Like if the Stones were to tour, I think with every tour for the Stones in the last even, 20 years, you'd be like, this is it.
Yeah.
And they'd prove you wrong, and that's fine. Because I think once you see them, you've seen them.
Yeah.
At least that's what it was for me. And I think the same with Aerosmith, and yet Aerosmith keep on going, and they could probably have just said, this is it. And I think they've said this is it before, and they kept coming back. So maybe it does bear, or maybe they should say that it's it, just because they are consistent. They tour every, few years, sort of thing. I don't know. Either
I just
way,
feel like we should hire ourselves out as music consultants for touring
we are here to help you guys
and tell them, hey, stupids, just go tour. Say two, come up with a cool name for the tour and like some nice merch, and there you have it. And it's
on
fun,
you
like,
go.
I recently went to a concert, which shall remain nameless. And I really enjoyed the show, but I was very sad that the t-shirt that I would have purchased going to be $55.
Yeah, it's a tough one to swallow, I think, because I think we're used to the idea that the merch is so expensive, But now the concert tickets are really expensive.
Yeah,
but we're
it's
still buying them.
Yeah.
They're still selling out arenas and venues and whatever. So
Yeah, because there is that element of, well, we might never get this chance again. And that's ridiculous because they're going to do it. They've
just
got
ask
to.
Aerosmith. They keep going out every few years.
Just ask anybody older than you, kid, that's listening to this podcast. And thank you very much for doing that, by the way.
Yeah.
What did I want? There was another tie-in I wanted to make, and maybe we'll save it for the next show because it's actually pretty cool. Yeah, we'll save it for the next show.
will we remember?
Yes.
Okay.
Steel trap, Adam. Run up here. For now, though, we'll get into your 90s rewind so that we can go back to the very beginning of our favorite decade. When, in fact, another band that is basically still going, though there are a couple of original members that are gone. So the band itself at this time was put over there so that John Bon Jovi could provide the soundtrack song to Young Guns with Blaze of Glory. We are talking about the year 1990. And in a world where Janet Jackson was wowing the crowds, she was rocking it pretty hard too on Black Cat, which was charting around this time in 1990. Similarly, Black Box, not similar at all, were driving us to the dance floor with Everybody, Everybody. Suicide Blonde from INXS was a reminder that, yes, they are that good. And also, just to keep us in check emotionally, Wilson Phillips and Release Me.
Wow. What a time to be alive.
Exactly. Grab a mixtape, press play and record, because that is your 90s rewind.
Thank you, Sharon.
That was amazing. Like, that was an amazing group of songs. Like, I don't think there's one song in there I don't like.
Yeah. And they're all kind of different, right?
Yeah.
For different reasons we like them. And I think that's part of A, musical taste, but B, the 90s.
You know what's funny is I was talking to one of our colleagues who is much younger than we are, Sharon and Adam.
Everybody is.
Younger than I am?
Even than you, Adam.
Wow.
Like a good, because isn't this year coming the big 3-0?
Yeah, in 6 months.
Yeah.
Woo!
So this person is probably 9 years younger than you, or 8 at this point. And
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about. Guy or girl?
guy. And
Okay.
love him to pieces. Absolutely love him to pieces.
Dario.
Yeah.
Of course it's Dario.
Well, now I can't say my story.
Why?
Yes, you can. What song did he
Well,
know?
because Dario sadly is not a fan of the 90s music.
Well, he
That's
wasn't even
okay.
born then.
I know, but it's like funny. Like, I would have thought, because there's so many good songs in the 90s that I feel like would translate to now. Because like so many of the songs now are sampling, from the 90s. Like, it's all these songs are
Yeah.
sampling from the 90s. So I'm like, but you would like this music.
We should force him to listen to this podcast. I mean, force him.
We should.
I was about to say probably 90% of the reason he's not a fan is because he hasn't been exposed to 90s music.
Would you say that you picked 90% because it goes with the name of our podcast?
That would be way too smart of a thing for me to
I would say that 90s now % of the time.
Subliminal messaging, Sharon, it works. Yeah.
Indeed. Well,
yeah. Oh, just quickly before you move on, I know we're about to wrap up the show. I want your quick opinion, because we got a message from one of our listener questions.
Oh, yep.
NSYNC recently reunited for the MTV Video Music Awards, and then they have now, as of this recording, released their song "Better Place." And so our listener would like to know: do we enjoy the NSYNC reunion? Do we want an album
very much
from them?
I love the idea. Period. I loved watching the sort of the making of, the behind the scenes where they're all kind of doing their thing and listening back. I love that this many years later, that they all are wherever they are doing whatever they're doing in their lives, come back for the love of the music and in many ways for the fans. I love it.
Yeah. Adam?
I've got nothing else to add.
Okay, great.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
And I will mention that I don't know if you've seen it, because I follow most of the guys in the band, and most of them to a T have like just thanked their fans and said that it's the fans the reason they came back.
Yeah,
that's great.
And also I think a shout out on some level has to go to Timberlake, because they were all waiting on him, right?
Well, of course.
So, because like none of the other groups really have standout like soloists, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like some of them are decent, but nobody's had a JT career.
Nope. You're right.
So this group, like you do feel bad for Joey and for Chris and for JC because like they had to wait, you know, they had to.
Yep. Well, they all did their thing too. Like they all have stuff going on.
Yeah.
I would
Oh
say
yeah,
that
they're all successful.
I would venture to say that JC probably thought he'd have more of a solo career.
Maybe.
Would you think that?
I think so. I think he's turned to writing, though. He writes, I think, for other artists.
Oh, cool. Good.
Yeah. And like Joey has Joey's constantly doing like, wasn't he on Dancing with the Stars? Like he's done all kinds of stuff. So is Chris Kirkpatrick. Lance has his own podcast. Lance has been producing shows. Like Lance is never not busy. Lance was almost an astronaut, and so will continue, I'm sure, or cosmonaut, because I think he trained with the Russians. So and Joey has his own, I think, food truck. Like, so apart from all the other things he does, he has his own like food hot dog truck or something in Florida, I believe it is. So like they're all successful. And I just love that they were able to do this for their fans. And like I think everybody, well, you saw even Taylor Swift couldn't conceal her excitement to have them back.
She rarely can.
Yeah, she really can. Anyways, that's enough. Thank you.
Well, it's cool to back to Chris Kirkpatrick for a second. He was on Celebrity Big Brother a couple of years ago. Side note, everything was a couple of years ago. It's probably more than a couple. And he was really like, he went a while, like he was there a long time, but he was like a genuinely nice guy and he got along with everybody.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, go NSYNC, go. And thank you for the letter. Thank you for the questions. Keep them coming. You'll find us on social media everywhere. And thanks for finding us and listening to us wherever it is that you're doing that. We appreciate it very much. Thank you ultimately for listening to 90's Now. Still happening.